Welcome at pose 21, the day 21, and we're going to finish off with camel pose. And for a lot of people that is not really a yin pose, but it all depends on how you locate your body. What is important to have to be able to do camel pose is a lower back curve. So when you're back bending and you're trying to make your back hollow, and this is quite straight, then that might be difficult for you to do the camel pose, because then you feel compression very fast. But then we have different variations of how you can do it. So before I go into that, guide you first through the pose, placing a blanket underneath the knees, and you can play with the position of the legs, because also how the legs are positioned, that also can diminish or increase the compression. So for some, in alignment, they say, okay, keep the knees together. Sometimes they even put a block in between the legs. But in my body, if I try that, then already here, I feel compression in my lower back. So that doesn't feel good at all. But if I widen my legs and bring my feet together, then I'm able to push my hips forward, and that allows me to do the camel pose. And then I place my hands on my feet, retract the shoulder blades, and let the head go back. So here it's not any effort for me to gently push forward and to stay. But if your hips are pushed back, that is most likely has to do with the lumbar curve that you might not have enough to be able to do this pose, because it's asking a back bend from your body. So then it can help to do the pose with one arm up, creating a twist, for example. And then after a while, changing sides. If you feel the front of your toes, sometimes that is also the issue. You can also place your feet flat on the floor. If you cannot reach your heels, you can also use the blocks and turn your hands out to really, or your arms actually, because then you can bring the shoulder blades together and allow yourself to hang on the blocks to open up the front. So the function of this pose is creating a mild compression in the lower back and an opening up in the front of the body, the front of the hips, and maybe also the quads. If you cannot let the head go back because there's too much compression for the neck created, then you can also do it against the wall. You place your heels against the wall, you bring yourself up onto your knees, you place your hands on the feet or on blocks, and then you let the head rest against the wall, so you don't ask a back bend of your head. So you eliminate the painful compression here. So again, you need to have enough lower back extension to be able to stay here comfortably and not needing to work very hard to get the hips forward. So then, if that is still the case, you can use a chair, and I don't have the chairs that, for example, they use in Iyengar yoga as well. But I have this bench, and you can also do it in front of your bed or on the couch. Then you place your hips against the chair or the bed, and then you let your feet go under the bed or under the chair. And then you allow yourself to fall over. You can place a bolster on it here. And normally there is the back of the chair here, so that you can rest with your head against the back of the chair. Or if you're on the bed doing this, and you want to create the opening here, talk's a bit difficult, but then you can also allow yourself to go backwards and have a strong opening in the front. And then the bed or the chair is helping you to push forward, and you don't have to work so hard. Yeah? So here, you can stay for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, as long as you can handle the opening. So choosing the variation that works for you the best to get that opening and doesn't create any painful compression in the lower back. You don't have to work hard to stay in the pose. Then you can breathe in and out. You can add the monkey face to it by bringing the lower lip over the upper lip. Really stretching and opening up the glands in the throat area, in the chest area. Breathing towards the chest. Hanging gently in the lower back. And sometimes strong emotions come up due to the deep opening of the heart space. Allow that to happen. Allow yourself to be freed. But if those emotions come up because of physical pain, that is not what you want. Then adapt the pose, please. So you can do this without any too much effort. And if this pose is not for you, whatever variation you've tried, then maybe go to saddle pose, because basically that is stimulating the same area. The front of the body, the spleen and stomach meridian, opening of the heart, the lungs. Taking last 3 breaths here. And then after your last exhale, you use your abdomen to come out of the pose, releasing the toes gently and coming into a child's pose. Or you can find your way into lying on your back on the floor, as this is right away a counter pose for your lower back. Now you're rounding the lower back right after doing a back bend, and that can sometimes be too much. So then lying on your back might be a good alternative. And you can also do this pose for about 2 minutes, then go to child's pose and do another 2 minutes afterwards. Listen to your body and your possibilities. Listen if there is tension that needs to be opened, and allow yourself to be encouraged to do this pose a bit more often, however difficult the sensations that you feel might be. But if trying this pose and your body, the shape of your bones, are not enabling you to do this pose, then there are other poses to be able to open up the front part of the body. We don't all have to be able to do all the poses. Pick the poses that allow you to help to get into those areas that you want to open, that you want to free, in order to observe your mind, your emotions, to connect with yourself deeply. So you've made it the 21 days of doing a yin pose every day. I've sequenced them in such a manner so that you are also able to do them one after the other and do a whole sequence with those poses that you just did in 21 days, but then you do it in 1 day, for example. So I hope you've enjoyed it and that you were able, with all the variations, to become more playful and experimental with the poses, so that the poses facilitate your body to relax and to open up, instead of pushing your body into a pose that is not working for your body. So if you really like the way of functional practicing, I offer classes and workshops and teacher trainings that also go into depth with this. That's the way I offer the classes. And I offer every month 90-minute yin class, live class via Zoom. So maybe you feel encouraged to participate in one of those things. They can be found on my website if I forgot to say something. And otherwise, reach out to me if you have any questions. You can also leave them below the video or email me otherwise. Thank you for practicing together. Namaste.